Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Doruk, and today I have for you my third game, the deciding game for the first round of the Return of the King tournament. And yeah, this was a very exciting game. I had to wake up quite early to make it in time. But yeah, I remember it being a fun one, and yeah, we will see how it goes. I don't remember much about it, like the specifics of it, but yeah, I'm not gonna go over the details of the tournament again. I explained that in the first game in the video for the first game. So if you're curious about that, please go check it out. And since this is the third game, there's no hiding the fact that the score is 1-1 right now. So whoever wins this one, they will advance to round two. So, anything else to mention? Probably. Oh, one important deciding factor is for the third game, we use master points, and I'm not sure if I've covered them actually because I was out of the world tournament before I could play my game deciding game. So the way where master points work is that you get to like whoever gets master points, they're allowed to place units. They're allowed to place units from the reinforcement pool, and usually free people side is the one receiving these points, and every regular and leader is worth half a point. Elites are worth 1 point. It's the equivalent of how much you'd muster using a single muster die, and free people can place them anywhere on the map where there's a settlement or where there's an army present. The only caveat is that a nation cat can only get 1 point. There's a strict limitation on where you can put 1 point. Like for example, if they get 1.5 points, not all of it can go to Gondor. For example, only at most one can go to Gondor, and the other half a point must go to some other nation. That's the only slight like rule about it. And also, there's a small little thing that you can put two regulars in the same region if you choose to do so. For example, if you have a single point, you can put two regulars into Carrack or Dale, for example. You don't have to separate them as you would with a master die. So we and the way you do that is you bid for points. Obviously, I started by bidding for 0. My opponent upped the bid and gave me a half a point to play as Shadow, and I re-upped the bid to give them 1 point, and they accepted. So they have a full master point to play free people, and they decided to put those points into Carrack and Dale. There's obviously a huge discourse going on where to how to allocate those points, which is the best way. I am a fan of either 2 in Carrack or 1 elite in Woodland Realm, since D was just abysmally weak at the beginning of the game, especially with no tokens. So yeah, like putting more regulars in Carrack somewhat assures that these, when you move them to Old Forso, they can get back they can retreat into Woodland Realm. It's like a quasi scouts-ish kind of play. So I don't know. There's still many data being collected. Some people love it, some people hate it, some people miss the action tokens. It's a big talking topic, and then yeah. But it certainly helps the game feel more balanced as far as my experience goes. So I still think Shadow is stronger. I was before the game. I was telling myself if my opponent gives me a point and a half, I will accept to play as the free people side. I'm saying my limit was 1 master point. I think that's my break even point at this time. But I don't know. it might be just a preference thing. So anyway, so yeah, that's just the introductions. That's the setup. And yeah, let's look over the cards. I'm playing as the Shadow, like I said, and I have Rage and the Downlandings and Cruel Weather. Really good cards. Early Rage, interesting. Certainly can be useful. And again, my opponent was kind enough to share their password with me, and they start with Riders of Theater and Axenbow. Both are excellent. Both can be playable, cycle with Gandalf, etc., etc. So first turn, you have to separate Aragorn and crown him. My opponent, different from what they did last first game, they bring Boromir into Moria. All right. I'm also done. I think the best thing to do is get Saruman. I get Saruman. They move. I bring Sauron to war because I would hate to be in a world in which I roll no more musters and I can't attack anywhere. That would really be bad. They crown. I move to Gorgoroth. I think that's pretty standard, flexible turn one. So now the real game begins. I get Denethor's Folly and Balrog. My opponent I still allocate one eye. I think it's correct. I think it's too risky to not roll any eyes and 3 people get 5 movements. They just like win the game almost on the spot. I roll one more, and I get a decent roll, right? I mean, not a decent roll. Sorry, it's a very inefficient roll. Like this is the roll. I want to roll some army movements. I want to do some fun, like organize armies. Instead, I just get a bunch of single movements. At least I get one more muster, so I may be able to get the Witch King. And my opponent gets a very flexible roll. So they start by passing, I think, which makes a lot of sense. Out of 2 Palantirs I have, I really don't have 2 playable cards. So I think I should decide to draw a strategy card. Which is fair. It could have been like Pits or Orcs or Shadows in the Misty Mountain. Shadows in the Misty Mountain plus Rage would allow me to basically make a huge army in Moria, which would be great. But Horde from the East, not a bad card. Obviously unplayable with a Palantir. So here my opponent plays Axe and Bow, which fair. Like, I don't know. I usually like cycling strategy cards early on as free people because those cards just allow you to get more units on the board and like actually help you defend. But obviously, because free people kind of was forced into separating Strider and taking some corruption damage, like naturally, I think Axe and Bow also makes sense. It's just the character deck is a little less valuable usually, but like since you have Boromir and Strider, like Grey Company and House of the Stewards are both okay to like cycle into potentially. Plus, you don't mind seeing Dead Men. Yeah, I don't hate this. I think I would still go for Riders though. I don't know. That's just the preferencing probably. There and back again. Okay. So here I decide to go to Barad-dûr from Gorgoroth, and I think this is an important point. My opponent will most likely move twice, and they have 2 musters. I really wanted to use these character dice as attacks as much as I can, which means if my opponent musters down Gondor, expecting an attack into Osgiliath, right? I can just get the Witch King. That was my plan. Like, I have a single attack from this point on. I can go to North Ithilien and Osgiliath. And if I attack into Osgiliath and manage to put Gondor to war, at least with this muster I can get the Witch King. So that was my plan. My opponent moves. They missed. I go to South Ithilien. Probably should leave one dude behind if my plan is to put the Gondorians to war. So here my opponent moves again. Yep, they're caught. It's an eye. Wand reveal. They decide to use the axe and bow and not kill Gandalf. This is all like, I don't know. This is always a big question. Should you kill Gandalf this inefficiently when you're in a when you're soft on corruption because of the separated companions, or do you rush for your 6th die? Like, this is problem. Like, you're already gonna go slowly because of no Strider. Should you just like waste time in taking these corruptions and hiding? Like, I mean, you already hide. So sorry. Yeah, maybe it's not really that urgent to get Gandalf. I just like the 6th die. I don't know. Maybe it's not worth the 2 corruption. Because it's not even guaranteed that you're going to get a better tile, right? Like, are you really going to delay Gandalf until you get a 2 or a 3? That might not happen even the next time. So are you're really delaying your 6th die, though. I don't know. Tough, because I'm assuming that you're gonna also want to run away with Strider. But anyway, so they like, maybe you kill Gandalf, but you go to highway route. That's an option. No. Kill Gandalf, but go the high pass route to avoid Moria and a bunch of rerolls. Plus, you might drop some units off, drop some companions off in the do line. Maybe. I don't know. I don't hate that. Okay, so I attack Osgiliath. I get 1 hit. My opponent doesn't get anything. And move Gondor down. And here, my opponent has an option, right? They can bring... Because I don't have any more attacks. And technically, I could have a Ringracer abroad. My opponent decides not to Master Gondor to warn to not give me Witch King, which I certainly think is correct, right? Yeah, I don't hate this. They muster Rohan down, which I don't really understand why. I think if I'm just gonna blanket muster a nation, it's gonna be the elves, just because elves always get attacked. But yeah, they muster Rohan down, which I think is certainly correct compared to bringing Gondor down to war. So here I use Balrog of Moria because Fellowship is clearly going through Moria, and I have more cards than I could afford, and that's the only almost literally playable card. They muster Rohan down one more time. Yeah, they're just gonna, I think, try to build an army in Rohan, and that's why they're trying to. When I get the Witch King, at least Rohan will be activated, and if they have, for example, a red arrow or something, can put them to war and immediately start mustering. Because let's be honest, Rohan also gets always attacked. So with the muster, I just mustered an elite in Dol Guldur. I think that's a perfectly reasonable place. This army is just big enough to take 3 points. So, we go to turn 3. Get Devrat on Little Sai. Kinda useless, kinda not. I roll 1 more. And my opponent gets a very nice roll. We both roll very nicely. They immediately what? Oh yeah, here's a very interesting question now. Do you run away with Aragorn? Do you not let him? Do you not let him get trapped? Words English. Yeah, I think certainly you do. Like this army is certainly not impressive, and you can't muster because you didn't put the Gondor to war. I think running away with him certainly is correct. Though, yeah, you're kind of risking, I don't know, Morgul Wound. like who cares? I mean, it's not good, but like it's not like you could do anything about it. So oh, they show a little bit of a riders. They go to Easternnet. Okay, that's perfectly fine. I here before I can attack into Minas Tirith, I decide to cover Minas Morgul because I don't want to put Gondor to war and just give them a free stronghold, even though that stronghold would be like easily retakeable. No reason to waste my own time, right? So, and I start going up north towards the Elves. I wonder if there is a path to just also going for Lorien with a rage. Like you muster once in Moria. No, but I don't have the units here. Yeah, I probably could not have. And also DA, maybe DA is also out of the reach. I can certainly get to DA. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Quite interesting. Okay, let's continue. They block. Yep. This is why you put the muster point into Carrack. So if this army fails to kill, if this army with 6 dice fails to get 2 hits, then at least one dude gets into Woodenround, which is what you want, right? I attack Minas Tirith, put them to war, they pass, I get the Witch King on top of Boromir. This is a relatively easy siege. Yeah, they're still rolling 5 dice, but like I have Denethor's Folly, I can just kill it and be done with it. So yeah, I don't hate this. Like there's probably maybe I could have gone for DA, like organized somehow. But obviously because they didn't get any musters into Minas Tirith, I just wanted to be done with that. Yep, my opponent gets. What does he do? Oh, they hide with the will. Okay, yeah, hiding with the will. Sure. I mean, you have to hide at some point. I prepare Near Harad and put a reroll on the Fellowship. Questionable, maybe. I think I'm organizing these Southron Easterlings for obviously later down the line. Putting a reroll on the Fellowship. If I get to hit them and Balrog into Moria, that could be a massive corruption hit. Even though they're trying to kill Gandalf, and maybe you would not want to put rerolls on them for that reason. But it would be a massive corruption hit if I manage to catch them. They muster in Pelargir. Okay. I wonder if you just move. You're fishing for a 6 and 3 dice to get Gandalf with this will, but maybe you're not that worried about it, which is certainly fair. I played Denethor's Folly, which matters a lot, which makes the siege in Minas Tirith quite a lot easier. Like, I don't know. I tried to hate on the card in the past, but I think it's a good card. Like, it just makes the siege so much easier. My opponent moves. I missed them. I attack Minas Tirith. And I can probably just Deadly Strife it. Or maybe Words of Power. Nah, Deadly Strife probably better. Okay, I get only 2 hits, which is a little unfortunate. They roll 5, so they get 4 hits. Okay, yeah, that's the risk of playing Deadly Strife. I press. I wonder if there's. Okay, I think I press because I have more cards than I could just afford. Might as well attack. And just soften up There's no reason, there's no risk of a sortie here, I think. Yeah. Cancel Boromir, get 2 hits, which is really nice. They roll a single hit. Okay, F5 again. This is certainly now looking very nice. We go to turn 4. King is revealed, ring is mine. Allocate 1, I roll 3 more, a little bit more than I would have liked. But they get full movement. And they can get Gandalf, but no masters, which is quite unfortunate on a turn where you really want to defend maybe Gondor. Now, had the Southern Eastlings been at war, maybe I could have rushed for DA. But alas, my opponent moves, I catch them, it's a 2 reveal, bye-bye Gandalf, and I also use a Balrog. I don't know if there's a difference, like there's a order of, like, we discussed this, but I don't think there's a difference using the Balrog versus drawing for the Moria tile. Yeah, I don't know if there's any difference. So we just use the Balrog first. It's an I. And the Moria tile is a 2, which is, which is decent for both of us. I don't mind that. Yeah. I attack Minas Tirith. I just want to be done with it. I think I play Relentless Assault here, just to cycle it and guarantee a hit. I just take 1, roll a 6. It's fine. Yeah. And Boromir dies. Unfortunate that his dad didn't really do much good for him. Okay. At this point, I really should consider maybe my options. An army in Pelargir is kind of getting big. I think the north is looking nice. Orcs multiplying again into reinforcing these big armies. I have 3 hits. I wonder if I can just like muster a couple in Moria and then rage somehow, like pincer the Woodland Realm and Lorien at the same time. But yeah, okay. I attack Old Force Zone. My opponent plays the Scouts, which is very nice. They move 2 extra, so like this turned into a Minas Tirith, right? Which is pretty good. My opponent gets Gandalf. I attack Woodland Realm. I don't... Oh, no. They attack Woodland Realm. Okay. So I put a reroll here on the Fellowship, and I move to West of Harondor, and I'm not really sure why. Because Southron's not at war. Sure, I wanted to get some preemptive rerolls on the Fellowship. I think I have a lot of cards too. Maybe the best thing to do there was actually to play Orcs Multiplying again. And then just like merge and then like go cover the north with 2 armies. I feel like that could have been interesting. If I have to play 2 cards, maybe play Rage into Moria and 1 voice to like not overdraw cards. That is an idea. I'm not really sure this West of Harondor move does much. But my opponent plays Elven Rope. Yep. I go to Osgiliath. Interesting. Is this anything? I think this is a very neat little trick that you should know about. Like when Southern Easterlings are not at war, or they obviously can't cross into or attack into Gondor, but Osgiliath is a free region. It's like It belongs to nobody. So technically, these guys can just sit in Osgiliath and just be a massive pain for any mustering that happens in Gondor, even though they are not at war, right? So that was my idea, I guess. And it kind of puts a stop to a Deadman play, a Deadman Pelargir play. My opponent doesn't have it, but like obviously also, by the way, it stops Faramir plays. So I don't really hate it, but I'm like, is it really necessary? Is there no other thing I could do with those army dice? Not sure. Like it's a nice little. It's convenient to have this army here, but like I feel like I also need to be a little quicker. Okay, I covered Carrick. I guess I'm gonna attack Dale and cover the north. That makes sense. Maybe go for the dwarves instead. My opponent draws a strategy card. Okay, I play Ring is Mine. Sure. You go to turn 5. I get Corsairs and Nazgul Search, which are excellent. Kills Orcs multiplying again. Okay, at this point probably is not needed. Fellowship, okay, 1 eye allocated. Roll 2 more. Let me get a decent roll, and my opponent keeps getting very nice rolls. They hide. I move Nazgul and North Dunland. I guess I'm playing for a rage play, so I need to like fill these North Dunland and South Dunland. I guess that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to pincer the 2 Elven Strongholds. That makes sense to me. My opponent moves, they're caught. It's 1. They take it. Yep. I Nazgul search them. I really don't want them to move again if I can avoid it. And if they wait, I mean, they're gonna have to waste this will to hide, which is really good. Would I have mind if they moved the second time against 3 eyes and 2, like, so 5 dice? I'm not sure. But at least I stopped them for a movement, right? And I do get to move my leadership, which is where I think I want it. Okay, my opponent, like, because Nazgul Search is a little weird. Like, I was thinking about the last Nazgul where I should put it, but there was already a Nazgul on top of the Dale. My opponent revealed it, but they can also go to Southern Dinwell. Really didn't know. I wanted to keep 1 leadership back in Osgiliath in case Aragorn shows up and I need to attack him with a C character die. So they hide with the will. I muster not Dunland. They bring the elves down. I play Rage into Holland. Bring the elves down. Following the Fellowship and pincering the elves. A power to great. So like this power to great was massive. I unfortunately play right into it because I assumed that my opponent would get only a single muster into one of the Elven Strongholds. I mean, granted that this Woodland Realm has become a little big, but like, hey, this 5/1/1 can take Rivendell, and this siege is gonna take some time, but like, at least I can bring these Southrons to help and just take 3 points, 5, 7, and just figure out the last 3 somehow, maybe Rohan or something. So that was my plan. But like, yeah, this power to great completely puts a stop to that. They still have 4 Elven elites, and they're gonna get to muster at least 2 elves. So here, I think I have to... Yeah, like, I have to attack Woodland Realm, because I don't want them to muster in there. But like, Rivendell's gonna get 2 more elites, which is unfortunate for me. I allocate 1 eye, roll 2 more. Again, just unfortunately for my opponent, they don't roll mini musters. It's quite a not a great roll for them. It's quite a bad roll. Oh, they and they have dead men here, so interesting. They muster an elven elite into Rivendell. I attack Dale. No card, no card. I get one hit. They get nothing. They run away back to Erebor. I cover Dale. They move the Fellowship. I catch them. So Gimli dies. Okay. I bring the Southern Eastlings. Swords in Eriador. Okay. A new Powers Rising. I guess I wanna bring down the Southern Eastlings to war. I have more cards than I need, so that's why I probably play a new Powers Rising, so it makes sense. They move guys into Erebor and into Helm's Deep. I bring South Thrones to war. Riders of Theoden comes. They put it with they put Riders with Aragorn, which I think is really like I think it's correct. Because technically they're threatening Dol Guldur. Right? I don't have any musters. If they use a ring to go to Western Brownlands, they can technically just like on the beginning of next turn, they can just take Dol Guldur. Like I don't know how valuable this only 2 points are, but then if they take Dol Guldur, this army in Lorien can certainly threaten Moria. So this is quite an interesting turn for my opponent where they can just, and I completely like, I don't miss this, but like I'm like, okay, yeah, you can take it, but I think I was like a little like I was aware of the fact that this could happen, but I just don't think I respond to it in a clean way. I think these Nazgul and regular can just go to Western Brownlands and cut them off from this plan. And instead I move to Druden Forest because hey, if you don't use a ring to move Aragorn right now, I'm just gonna kill it. I'm just gonna kill it with and by attacking it, and I can certainly get 2 hits, right? That was my plan. But they have dead men, so Aragorn just like escapes with the dead man, and yeah, this is now less appealing to attack, right? But if they use the ring, they could have just gone to Western Brownlands as well, like, and I could not have stopped them. I'm not sure if that, like, would I do that as free people? Probably, maybe I would have done that. That's quite interesting. You move away. Yeah, I think I would do that. Moria is very tender. Free Dol Guldur. And you have a bunch of time to muster in Pelargir and maybe go take Umbar. Like, there's certainly some possibilities there. There's cool possibilities, but yeah. So here I play Candles. Corruption's always a problem. I have more cards than I need, so I just play it and don't get any hits, which is just not great, but what can you do? So, turn 8, turn 7, allocate 1 eye, roll 1 more, get bunch of attacks, and my opponent gets a single movement, which is really good for me. Though I am kind of flailing. Like, I don't know where I need to be attacking, right? It's not clear to me at all at this point. Woodland Realm is well defended. Erebor is well defended. Sure, I managed to take Minas Tirith. Rivendell's defended. Lorien is kind of open, but there's no armies to threaten it nearby, and they can certainly muster into it more. So I'm a little lost in this position of what the best plan is, and those usually are the where you make mistakes. So yeah, my opponent moves immediately before I can attack this army and put some rerolls on the Fellowship. I'm not sure if I would ever attack here and put Rohan to war for free. But then again, just me going to fold is going to put them to war. So probably I don't attack. But yeah. So I managed to catch the Fellowship. Both hobbits end up in Helm's Deep. They need when you when you separate both hobbits on a single tile, they have to move together. It's a niche rule, but yeah, both hobbits end up in Helm's Deep. I get rid of Power to Great, kill the Ringwraiths that are abroad, and Relentless Assault. And yeah, that was a tough character discard because Cruel Weather is powerful. Yeah, but Ringwraith's Palantir attack. So what can you do? My opponent musters the Elven Elite. I cover Iron Hills, go back to Osgiliath to contain Aragorn, to meet with Aragorn, so that he doesn't get crazy ideas. They're mustering in Pelargir. I go to Dale. I move back to Holland, and yeah, my idea here was Rivendell's basically as big as it can get, so I'm just gonna go back to Lorien, but I'm not sure that's such a good idea, but because Lorien can also get big. Though, they would have to use a ring. They don't have enough musters to be able to do that, so... But their Celeborn is in the deck, so they can certainly do it. Okay. They muster in Lorien. I use the Fellowship hunting in regular and Nazgul back to army duty. They decide not to use a ring and they play Eomer. Now Rohan is looking tough. I attack Lorien. This is kind of similar to how you get the elves under siege when you're doing the Elven Pincer. It's a 9/1 something, and usually you don't want to see an extra elite in here, but it's not the end of the world. These Elven strongholds are well defended for sure. I think my best bet in this game right now is to take Lorien, the entire dual line for 7 points, Minister it for 9, and probably Edoras. Even Shire's looking hard. So yeah, I think that's my path to 10 victory points right now. Yeah, and the tough seat, like the dual line is not going to be that free, so probably we'll need some reinforcements up there. I do have Hill Trolls and Half-Orcs and Goblinmen. I do have Cruel Weather. I can delay the Fellowship. It's not going to be the end of the world. But my opponent uses a ring to move instead of mustering an elf, which is quite a tough call to make because they need 1, 2, 3, 4 movements. So if you move twice a turn, that's really doable. But if they only get 1 elite into Lorien, but delay their Mordor, then it wouldn't make much sense. I mean, 4th elite in Lorien is really good. And because the corruption's like a problem, I might have chosen to just get the elite if you're going to use the ring anyway. Given this set of cards, none of them are playable. Really difficult decision. What would you do? Would you have used the ring to muster 1 more elf into Lorien, or move the Fellowship like they did? They move, I catch them, I reveal them. I don't reveal them, it says you reveal. What am I talking about? Because Gollum's Guide. Yeah, but it's a really good tile for them, so it's out of the pool, which is really good. I attack Golden Realm. I attack Golden Realm here because I really don't have anything else to do with this die. Maybe I should Cruel Weather them to make sure that they I get some use out of it, because everybody's gonna play around Cruel Weather. I'm not really sure. what benefit is there? Maybe on a turn where they cannot play around it, it delays them. Not really sure. Because this making this attack is certainly a little bit inefficient. I would rather have the Southron's Easterlings also merged and then have a single attack and take it and whatnot. But I also have forward mustering units, which will reinforce them if need be. So, and I no card it too as well. So it's like a complete waste of an attack. Probably should just play Cruel Weather there. And just at least have some useful things to do with the die. Instead of just making an inefficient attack like this. I get one hit. They get two. So we stop. It's fine. We're just grinding it down. I get Morgul Wound, Return of the Witch King. It's good. Yep, Fellowship. Okay, one eye. Roll no more, and they get 3 movement. If they had 2 movements, maybe then. But then they can just use the ring to move again and not play into Cruel Weather. So I don't know. Maybe it should have already played it anyway, because then it forces them to move 3 times. But they're gonna move 3 times here anyway, so maybe it's not great. Anyway, so they move, they're safe. I start mustering. What do? I think I should start mustering in North Rune, since that's gonna be my plan. Yep. Muster one more time. Get going. Yep. They move again. I don't catch them. Attack with the realm now with a card. Probably Swarm of Bats. Yep, beautiful Swarm of Bat at daylight away. Get 1 hit. I get 2. We press into another Swarm of Bats. Which does not get any hits, unfortunate. Like, yeah. This is why it's good to play a card against a strategy card, right? Had they not played No Quarter, that would have been 3 hits. So they get nothing, but they just by the nature of by playing a card, they saved some hits, right? They play Smeagol. I play Heel Trolls. I think this is a slight error. I think I should I might need the Hill Trolls up in Erebor a lot more. Or like here, because I can't play Half-Orcs here into Lorien. I think I should start by playing Half-Orcs into Woodland Realm, but small mistake. I have to upgrade here once, and once here. My opponent moves, again, because they want to play around Cruel Weather, which is certainly fair. And I still don't hit them on a single die. That's, that could happen. I was hoping to deal some more corruption damage, or at least remove some like good tiles for them, but no such luck. I attack Woodland Realm with like it is quite weird, because I am keeping this Corsairs, because if I just show this Corsairs, this Aragorn army is really free to just roam about and just do whatever. But like the more I keep this Corsairs hidden, it forces them to still worry about Dol Amroth. And if I just muster a couple units in Umbar on a turn where they don't roll musters, I can still use Corsairs to just take it. Really, this army doesn't need that many reinforcements to take DA. And maybe I just move in Osgiliath, Horondor, back to Umbar, play Corsairs, and just like take it before Aragorn can do anything. So that's why I'm like reluctant to play Corsairs. I want to use Half-Orcs and Goblin Men to maybe muster, but like I don't have any other cyclable cards, so I think I should just, I play Cruel as Death. Certainly makes sense. They're in Mordor. They already played around Cruel Weather. Maybe as 3 people, that's why you kind of wait as the last move so that I don't use this as a combat card. I get 2 hits. Yep, but the heroic death away. I press. I know card. I am trying. I would really like to cycle this foul thing for a red. So I stop. I don't stop, sorry. I don't play it. I just get 3 hits. And they also get some hits. So like this is a good composition of armies to take Erebor. So here my opponent does an interesting play. They go to Western Net and they bring out the regular from Northern Army, leftover Northern Army that came from Dale into Withered Heat, which means I can't just like put them under siege fully and just leave everywhere else open, which I found it to be quite interesting. But this is obviously just screaming, okay, Dane is coming, right? There's no reason to move this guy out unless you have Dane probably. But this guy, funnily enough, is preventing me from completely vacating these regions. But I can't do anything about it, right? I have to let one of these guys stay, and they draw a card. They draw into Mithril, which is really nice, and I attack Erebor, and I still have to leave one dude behind because they can just retake Dale and start mustering in there, and then that would be a problem. And this single move basically saved them 2 extra regulars on top of them in Erebor. Well, I can certainly attack it and then just reorganize, but that would just be inefficient. I could have also attacked Withered Heat first before like these merge happened. But that's still 1 extra attack. So I really like this. It was really cool. That was a really cool move. But if you don't have Dane, it's probably not worth it. So tough to utilize it in more general situation. Anyway, you go to turn 9. Fellowship is in Mordor. I am reluctant. I'm looking at 9 victory points very fairly conservatively, right? Lorien, Erebor, probably Edoras. Though Erebor is not guaranteed. This has 10 hit points plus with Dane, which will be 8 hit points. This is going to be quite the fight, and depending on how Erebor goes, is gonna probably decide the fate of the game. But it's good that I kept Half Orcs, Deadly Strife, Foul Thing, Dread and Despair, all these massive hard hitting cards. Probably gonna be helpful in Erebor. So allocate 1 eye. Roll no more, which is exactly what I want to see, but this is a little bit too many Palantirs. With this many Palantirs, yeah, this is not great. And my opponent just gets a running man roll. The hunt pool is really not that bad. Like, really not that bad. Even the eyes are so tame. You just run, and I'm not even sure. I have only 1, 2, 3 attacks, 4 attacks with the mouth plus a ring. And sure, I could have 1 Palantir attack or 1 or more Palantir attacks, but I don't, so unfortunate. This is a really good roll for my opponent. Here, they obviously play Dane, and they use a muster because I guess they have a good use for a Palantir, which they do. Like an Ents into Mithril, that's pretty good. I play... Nope, with a Palantir, yep. I play Half Orcs and Goblin Men. I want to be done with that siege with a single die, so I muster there first. Attack Erebor. Probably should play They Are Terrible, not only to cycle character cards, but also it doesn't buff their own combat rolls, right? Yeah, I think that makes sense. Strategy card, Valor, They Are Terrible. And They Are Terrible, 1 hit, 2 hits, okay. They get 1 hit. I press once, cycle into Worm Tongue. I want to play. I think here Do I press? I think I should press with a Foul Stench. The first round went fine. Maybe Dread and Despair is also fine. They no card. Dread and Despair. Forfeit 4. Okay. I get 1 hit, which is nice. They get 1 more back. Okay. And now here probably stop. Oh, but I can't afford to stop, right? But even then, can I win this turn? Like, realistically, if I take this Erebor with a single die, then I would have to take Lorien with a single die with no leadership, and then I have to attack into Aragorn. So probably I'm not winning this turn. So there's really no reason to press. Instead, I probably just should take it a little slower and just cycle some character cards to find those reds and make at least Hunt Pool a little more dangerous. Maybe even find Grant, right? That could certainly speed my military up. Foul Stench, I get 1 hit, they get 1 back. I stop here. I draw a character card, sure. They play Ants into Mithril. I attack Erebor. Cycle Cruel's Death. 2 hits. 4 back, which is quite a lot. Oh, wait. That should be 3 because... okay, yeah, that should be 3. Because they only get 2 rerolls. There. Yeah, I took 1 too many hits there. Unfortunate. They hide. Sorry, they move. It's an eye. An eye is still good for me, right? I mean, it's good for them. Like it's they're taking a very cheap eye, but they're also being revealed, so they won't be able to move like 3 times, maybe. But they can still. So it's kind of they can still hide and move. So it's not even that bad. But like okay, Morgul Wound. Sure. What else am I gonna do with that Palantir, right? They hide. I put the red in. Okay. They move. It's a 3. Yeah, I think... Do you reveal or do you take it? I think you just take it and move again. Because if you reveal, which means you will hide again, then you might not win next turn. Though with 6 dice, you would have to get 1, 2, 3 movement with a ring. It is possible, but it's also very possible that I'm not sure. Like the Erebor Siege is like just went awfully Ari. So I mean, I can still win. You can still win. I think you should move again, probably. Though if you take it and then you hit an eye, then you're suddenly at 9. Ugh, it's certainly tough. Yeah, what would you reveal here or would you move again? I mean, with Mithril, I think you have to move again. So I think you're not revealing is correct. Yeah. I get the mouth. They move and it's the red 3. So lucky, but like that's why you have Mithril, and then it's an eye. So that's good. That's lucky for me, right? For sure. The only other thing I could hope for was that they hit a red. I mean, even a 3. I think if you hit one of these 3s, you probably reveal here. Then you can hide, move. And you have like a big buffer. That's 3 eyes. Yeah, and then suddenly corruption is might be an issue depending on how many eyes I roll. But yeah, I start mustering in Umbar because I technically could still take the Lamroth with a single muster, a Palantir, and an attack. I think this Umbar could definitely take the Lamroth with 1 more muster. So, and yeah, it was certainly unlucky for my opponent to just get a red into an eye. So They get, I think, the best two cards they could get. Celeborn and the File. I get Dreadful Spells and Shadows Gather, which is also really two great cards for me. I can finish off Erebor maybe with a Dreadful Spells, and I can Shadows Gather from Osgiliath back to Umbar and maybe take DA. Certainly possible. Fellowship, okay. Allocate 1 eye, roll 3 more. Which is maybe a little too many, but they only roll movement. They hide. I play Dreadful Spells. Try to finish off Erebor with a single die, basically. Does that make sense? There. Maybe? Yeah, now, right? Yeah, the siege has gone so badly that I need to get a little lucky. I only get 1 hit. They draw a character card. I attack Erebor with a card, probably Desperate Battle. Yep, maybe even Muma. I can't play Mumakil. I get 1 hit. I roll way too many, but I get the hit on a reroll. It's fine. We finally take Erebor. They play File. I was like looking at how to win this game, and technically the only way to win this game is make an attack into Lorien and win that in a single die, and make an attack into Pelargir and win that. This attack into Pelargir certainly is impossible. It's not impossible, but it's highly unlikely. But at least I can like move some leadership first. Attack one, attack the other, so I have an extra attack that's left over. That's possible. Way to push for a 10. I was also looking at trying to muster once in Umbar, play Corsairs, attack, and then like attack another place. I think that's like a little too slow, unfortunately. Probably the best plan to do here is move leadership, draw a card, and attack Pelargir, attack Lorien. Probably that's the best way of going about it. I think I make a slight error here and just like muster an Umbar to threaten like Corsairs. My opponent musters an elite here, but I'm not sure if that's like necessary. If you're revealed here, you just lose. Or if it's a 3, I mean, you still lose on a 3 stop, so I guess that really doesn't change. But like, if you hit a 3, right, you'd want to be able to hide here. You want to be able to reveal to reduce the damage, to go to 11, hide, and move again, and maybe get, it's not that lucky. You can hit still like these 3 non-damaging tiles. These 7 of them. I'm not sure if you need to be worrying about Dol Amroth here, but, so I move leadership. I'm basically putting all my chips into these combat. Not much I can do. They give me a ring to play Celeborn. Which I think is a mistake. Right? It has to be. Sure, they draw a card. Fine. I can still have Grond. Like, I can just Grond into a Deadly Strife. Right? And then have this attack. Like, you're really putting all your faith into Lorien holding right now, and I feel like that's a mistake. Like, in many a games, this is gonna be costly, because I've certainly lost games like that where I just thought that a Stronghold could hold, and my opponent just like dreadful Grond into Deadly Strifes it out of existence, no matter how big it is. Like, sure, this is a close fight, but like, it could happen, and you would just like kick yourself for not moving there. I think you should move, though. You obviously did not want to, let me attack here first, so I get it. I just genuinely think with those three last die, I would just move and see what you get. And if you, I'm not really sure how much more stalling can you do. Right. I have three attacks. Like I had like three dice, so I'm pretty sure you could like let go of Lorien, but like maybe you muster one in Pelargir. And this is a massive army. This is a 10 hit point against 10 hit point. Technically, this is, I wonder what the battle simulator thinks about this fight. Let me go check 1 sec. Okay, so the battle simulator thinks that this fight is a 40%er for the attack. Without any cards. I think if I was attacking, I would probably. I mean, it really depends how what cards I'm going to be using to take Lorien. This is quite like a close fight. I don't have. I'm not showing any character cards, so I wouldn't have any Dread and Despairs. But like, assuming that let's say I just somehow. Okay, I will have two Mumik kills because I can't play them in Lorien. So if I like play two Mumik kills, does that change the math? It quite does. 70%. But you would have advantageous position, right? You have Kinder of Glorfindel and some more cards. Like if you just manage to just advantageous position a single one of them, maybe you'd keep the advantageous position in the second round. It's 60%, so like it's 60%. Yeah, maybe you Daring Defiance the first time. Actually, that's pretty good. Daring Defiance into advantageous position, basically nullifying the Momo kill. It's 50%. It's 50%. Yeah, I don't know. What if you muster once in Lorien? Yeah, now it's 30%. I don't know. I feel like I would want to move. I would want to move with the Fellowship, see what I get. I mean, it's certainly almost deadly. But you're taking this risk to basically not... To basically draw into like a really good tile or like a Bilbo song, or like there's another way. Stuff like that can heal. Or maybe I roll 0 eyes. That's also a possibility. So I don't hate this. I just think, I don't know, defending both strongholds is probably a mistake. I think you should defend. Like just use the will to defend here. Let me play Corsairs. If I play Corsairs, then I can't really take Lorien. And maybe I was talking about like that Grand scenario, but I don't have any character cards, so you don't even worry about Grand. So maybe that's also another reason. I'm not sure. Maybe it's correct. Maybe it's just fine. Yeah, maybe because I don't have any character cards, like I can't win. Well, literally, just like the next card I draw is fighting Urukai. My opponent moves, and they just hit a red, which is deadly. So the eyes were deadly. The 3 was not deadly 3 stop, but it was certainly, it wasn't even that bad. Like they could hit a 3, get back to 11, and it just hit a 0 into 0. Like that could happen very easily. So they just hit a 3 out of 13, which was very unlucky for them, for sure. I think, it's unfortunate. They played a great game. They played a very they defended very well. And yeah, they just kind of, got unlucky in Mordor for sure, right? Like a red 3 into an eye, and then like there was another. Maybe the first eye didn't really matter, but like the second eye, the second mithril, and this red eye is certainly unlucky. It's really funny is that the second game I like got unlucky and hit a 2 out of 9 for a red to lose the game, which is like around 20%. And here they had a 3 out of 13, which is like almost like a 20%. It's almost like the same odds, but it's like reversed. So like I guess you could say this is Java's twisted way of paying back, balancing the odds out. But yeah, it was like it felt like it was a little unsatisfying. That's about it. Like, okay, sure, I win. I'm happy about it. But like, I don't know. My opponent played great, and if I had another turn, could I won? Probably. Yeah, I don't know. It's really unfortunate. But that's the game. What can you do? As far as my play, I was really not happy with how I played this game. Like genuinely, this power to great just killed all my momentum and just completely reversed the fate of the game. Maybe I could have. I'm not sure about expecting it. Maybe I should have followed a different plan. Because what ended up happening is basically I went for Rivendell, got scared, went back, and just found myself up against the same army anyway, right? So now I'm facing against 1-4-1. Maybe pushed a little too hard in Erebor. I think the way I took Minas Tirith was really well done. But the rest of the combat and rest of my attack plan really did not realize that well. Probably missed like an Orcs multiplayer again, and I'm bringing a bigger army up to Dew Line, which would have been easier to take. Yeah, and maybe going for Rivendell there was correct, but just got really unfortunate with running into power to great at literally the worst possible time. But yeah, that's the game. That's how it goes. So yeah, I managed to win the matchup. It's kind of crazy, and we're gonna go to round 2, and this is gonna be a very interesting. This is a very fun tournament. Obviously, wanna try to play the best as much as I can. So yeah, I hope this was instructive. I hope I'm pretty sure there are like tons of stuff that I missed. So feel free to share and comment, mention them in the comments. I genuinely love discussing them with you. Just yeah, it's a tough game. It's a game where every dice matters, and yeah, this certainly was no exception. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one, probably round 2, and it's against Amroth, who's a really good player, and I'm scared. So bye bye.